So if I see this problem on the AP test, here's what I'm going to be remembering. I'm not going to read it again and hope that I've done a problem like it. I'm going to remember flashcards. So the first flashcard you need is right here. Equation of the line normal to the graph of. That reminds me of a picture that looks like this. I have a curve. The equation for the curve is this right here. This is the equation of the curve. So this is how we find every single xy pair of the curve. So this is very similar to what we just did in problem number 1, where we had an equation for finding all xy pairs of a curve. Questions so far? Equation of a line normal to the curve at the point where x is -1. So there's a point somewhere on the curve whose x-coordinate is -1. Now they don't tell me the y-coordinate. Okay, I've drawn this picture before where I have all of this and then I draw a tangent line like so. The tangent line has an equation. I'm just going to call the tangent line equation g of x. We don't know that equation, but there is an equation for that tangent line. A line that is normal means perpendicular. So instead of tangent, it is perpendicular. So the normal line would look like this. Pretty happy with that drawing. So, questions? And it would be a different equation. We'll call it h of x. We don't know that equation, but there would be an equation for that normal line. That's what you need to have memorized on a flashcard or flashcards. We already talked about the flashcard that says, hey, use this equation to find all the xy pairs of the curve. New flashcard is line tangent is this picture. I don't know how else to explain it other than that's the picture. Line normal is the green, so perpendicular. Question? Okay, cool. So we solved this problem kind of just little by little. We need an equation for the green line. You need a flashcard that reminds you of the fact that any line can be written in this form. Slope multiplied by x minus x coordinate plus y coordinate. Wait a minute. No, that's right. This needs to be memorized. This is the equation for any line.
For what?
Say again in your voice. No? Okay.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead.
B what?
Say it one more time.
That's the equation for what?
This is the equation for any line, meaning linear, straight. So like I can use this to create an equation for the green line. I can use this to create an equation for the brown line. Or any line. I could draw a line somewhere else and use that to create the equation for the line. You need to memorize what the symbols represent. So I think somebody can tell us this. What is the m representing in the equation? Slope of that line. Because it's a linear line, it only has a constant slope. So that's the slope of the line. 2 points for Isaac. You need to memorize what these two are. We know what the x1, y1 is in this equation. Now this is not new again. You learned this in a previous class. I'm just helping you remember. Let's go have it.
It's just any coordinate on the line, right?
Perfect. Keyword is any. Any point or coordinate on the line. Questions? Okay, let's summarize the big picture. They're telling us that we have a curve. The curve is described by this equation. They're telling us that there's a line normal to that curve at a specific point. So we've got this green line, and we're supposed to find the equation of the green line. That's the big picture. If you're having trouble with the big picture, talk to me until you're not having trouble, because this idea shows up repeatedly throughout the AP test. Are we good? Please.
So to solve this one, you would find the derivative of that curve, and then you'd find whatever or then you'd plug in the -1 for x, right, to get the tangent of the -1, and then from there, when you have what the tangent slope equation is, then how do you find h?
You're doing great. 2 points for Brennan. So you are correct. The big idea here is, we lost Rachel. She's back. Okay.
Sorry.
You're right. Happens to all of us. The big idea here is that I can take this equation, find the derivative. In fact, let's write it out. It makes it a little easier to talk about. So I can say y prime is going to equal 3x squared plus 6x plus 7. I can then say y prime, when the x value is -1, is going to equal 3 multiplied by -1 squared plus 6 times -1 plus 7. So y prime, if you want extra credit, you must have this kind of notation where you can show me what you're finding. You're finding y prime's value at x equal -1. That's equal to 3 minus 6 plus 7. So y prime of -1 is equal to 4. You need me to talk more about that, Hadley?
So if you school, oh,
No worries. Anybody else? Perfect. So this is the slope right here. That slope is equal to 4. Tangent slope equals 4. Okay, you need to memorize perpendicular means negative reciprocal. You've done that years ago. I'm just reminding you, this isn't new. So the slope of h only has one slope. It's a line. So slope of h is going to equal, this is 4 over 1. We take the reciprocal and we make it negative. That's the slope of h. If the tangent slope is 4, then the perpendicular slope is -1 over 4. I'm going to summarize real quick and then you can go. You now know the slope of the line h, so that belongs here. You know an x-coordinate on the line h, that's x equal -1. You can find the y-coordinate by finding the y-coordinate here. Then you're done.
And what goes in that 1x?
This one here?
No, that is
That's just part of the equation for the line.
okay.
So
then
this
you
doesn't
would-
change, this doesn't
Whatever
change.
that would match, what are the answers?
Correct.
Okay, so you don't plug anything for that 1x?
No.
Only 3.
You find the y on the right one.
So remember, this equation is for finding the slope anywhere on the curve. So we don't use that to find x and y coordinates of the curve. We use it to find slope. I need to find the y coordinate here. So to do that,
I know. I'm like, how do I make that?
I had that one.
I take this equation,
Equation
of the curve. I say I want to find what's the y coordinate when the x coordinate is -1.
It's not like I'm saying, oh, I want to make this. It's not really like that. It's not like I want to let's see.
Yeah, that's
You can keep it if you need it. Oh, really?
How could you not?
Bye.
And then sometimes I actually wear it on Fridays, and then when it gets that good, I know.
So the y coordinate of the curve, so this would be -1 plus 3 minus 7 minus 1. So let's see, that's going to be -6.
That,
So now I have two things, Rachel. So, okay, so I use the y formula itself down here to figure out on the curve, when the x-coordinate is -1, the y-coordinate is going to be -6.
Okay, and then we just
Hey,
use that. How you doing?
Good. Hold on for a second. Let me finish this up real quick. You're doing great. Does that make sense? So we know the point on the curve now. Well, that point's also on h, because h goes right through the curve.
Yeah.
So we know that this is -1, this is -6. And we've already found the slope to be -1/4.
Okay.
Good work.
Thank you.
I want to say hi. There's one last thing they do, Rachel, that's a little bit weird. So they take all of that and they say, okay, so my h of x formula is going to be, my slope is -1/4, the x-coordinate's -1, the y-coordinate's -6. When you look at the multiple choice answers, none of them look like that. Because there are three different ways to write the equation of a line. So you've got to match your answer to the way they write it.
Okay.
So I first noticed that, oh, none of these are in the form I'm using. Okay, these are all like x plus y, x plus y, x plus y, x plus y. That's known as standard form. You learned that a while back. Don't need to know the name.
Yeah.
But you just need to know that, oh, so they're saying, okay, y equals
And then you just have to move it around a little bit.
yeah, what they're going to do actually is distribute. And then they're going to get rid of the fractions. Because if you look up above, none of the answers have any fractions. So they multiply both sides of the equation
By 4.
by 4.
4y equals -x
There you
minus
go.
4 minus 6.
I'm just writing extra to make sure. So then you get 4y is equal to, just like you said, -x minus 1 minus 24.
Yeah.
So when you put them all together, you get, bring the x over to this side. You get x plus 4y is equal to -25.
And then so x equals -4y plus 25.
No, they leave it like
Oh,
that. Just
they leave it like
4x plus, so it's just in that form.
4x
So it's
plus
right here.
y.
So x plus 4y is -25.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So,